In the sleepy town of Hollow Brook, an eerie silence settled as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the cobblestone streets. Among the quaint cottages and lush gardens stood an old, abandoned mansion that everyone in town avoided. It was said to be cursed, haunted by the spirit of a girl named Alice who had mysteriously died many years ago. Alice was a curious girl, always exploring places she wasn't supposed to. One fateful night, she ventured into the mansion, never to return. The townsfolk believed she had fallen victim to the house's dark past, a story that had become legend over time. One summer, a group of friends, Emily, Jack, Sarah, and Tom, decided to uncover the truth about Alice's death. They were intrigued by the stories and wanted to see if there was any merit to the ghostly tales. Armed with flashlights and a camera, they entered the mansion under the cover of darkness. The air inside was thick with dust and decay. As they navigated the labyrinthine halls, their flashlights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Whispers seemed to echo through the corridors, but when they tried to pinpoint the source, there was only silence. "Do you think this place is really haunted?" Emily whispered, her voice trembling. Jack shrugged. Only one way to find out. They reached a large, ornate door at the end of the hall. Pushing it open, they entered a grand ballroom, its beauty long faded. In the center of the room stood a grand piano, covered in dust. As they approached, the air grew colder. Suddenly, the piano keys played a discordant note on their own, sending shivers down their spines. Sarah screamed, but Tom quickly covered her mouth. "We can't let fear control us," he said, though his voice wavered. They continued their exploration, finding themselves in a room that seemed untouched by time. On a table lay an old diary, its pages yellowed with age. Emily picked it up and read aloud. June 17, 1923. "I fear this will be my last entry. The shadows grow longer, and the whispers louder. I can feel them closing in. If anyone finds this, know that I did not die by accident. The house demands a sacrifice, and tonight, it chose me. Alice." The friends exchanged nervous glances. "We need to leave," Jack urged, but as they turned to go, the door slammed shut. The temperature plummeted, and a ghostly figure materialized before them, a young girl in a white dress, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. "Who are you?" Emily managed to ask, though she already knew the answer. The ghostly figure whispered, "I am Alice. Help me." The friends realized that Alice's spirit was trapped, doomed to haunt the mansion until the curse was broken. Determined to free her, they searched for any clue that might release her from her torment. In the basement, they found an old, decrepit altar. Emily remembered the diary's mention of a sacrifice. "We need to destroy this," she said, her voice resolute. With great effort, they dismantled the altar, burning the remnants. As the last piece turned to ash, a gust of wind swept through the mansion, and Alice's ghostly form appeared one final time, her expression peaceful. "Thank you," she whispered before fading away. The friends emerged from the mansion, forever changed by their experience. The curse was lifted, and the legend of Alice's death became a story of redemption and bravery. Hollow Brook returned to its peaceful existence, but the friends knew they had witnessed something extraordinary, a story they would never forget. Life in Hollow Brook gradually returned to normal after the friends' harrowing night in the mansion. Emily, Jack, Sarah, and Tom shared their story with the townspeople, who were both awed and skeptical. The mansion, once a symbol of fear, now stood as a testament to their bravery. However, the peace was short-lived. A month after they had freed Alice's spirit, strange things began to happen around town. Objects moved on their own, and eerie whispers filled the air at night. It seemed as if the mansion's dark presence was still lingering. One evening, while the friends were gathered at Emily's house, the power went out. The room was plunged into darkness, and the temperature dropped, just like in the mansion. A faint, ghostly whisper filled the room. "Help me." Tom shivered. "Did you hear that?" Jack nodded. "Alice?" "No," Sarah said, her eyes wide with fear. "It's something else." Determined to find the source of these disturbances, the friends decided to return to the mansion. They armed themselves with flashlights and protective charms given to them by the town's old herbalist, Mrs. Whitaker. As they approached the mansion, they noticed a faint glow emanating from the windows. The air was thick with an oppressive energy. Inside, the glow grew brighter, revealing a figure standing in the center of the grand ballroom. It was not Alice, but a tall, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. "You have meddled with forces beyond your understanding," it hissed. "The curse was never lifted. You only released the gatekeeper." "Who are you?" Emily demanded, trying to keep her voice steady. "I am the true master of this house," the figure replied. "And now, I demand a new sacrifice." The friends realized that their battle was far from over. The mansion's dark energy had not been dispelled, it had only been waiting for a new opportunity to strike. "We won't let you harm anyone else," Jack said defiantly. "We'll end this curse once and for all." The figure laughed, a sound that sent chills down their spines. "You are mere mortals. You cannot defeat me." Undeterred, the friends split up to search the mansion for anything that could help them. In the attic, Sarah found an ancient book of spells, while Tom discovered a hidden room filled with old relics and symbols of protection. Back in the ballroom, Emily and Jack confronted the shadowy figure. Emily began to recite a spell from the book, and Jack arranged the protective symbols around the room. As the spell progressed, the figure writhed and screamed in fury. The mansion trembled, and the walls seemed to close in on them. The friends joined hands, focusing their combined energy on the spell. A blinding light filled the room, and with a final, ear-piercing scream, the shadowy figure disintegrated into nothingness. The mansion fell silent, and the oppressive energy lifted. The friends, exhausted but triumphant, knew they had finally broken the curse. Alice's spirit appeared once more, her face serene. "Thank you," she said, her voice a gentle echo. "You have freed us all." The mansion, now devoid of its dark presence, began to crumble. The friends made their way out just as the structure collapsed, taking with it the remnants of its haunted past. In the weeks that followed, Hollow Brook was free from the strange occurrences that had plagued it. The friends' bravery became the stuff of local legend, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, light could prevail. Emily, Jack, Sarah, and Tom remained close, forever bound by their shared experience. They knew that their town was finally at peace, and they vowed to keep its history alive so that the mistakes of the past would never be repeated.